I've been holding on to this dress for a while, and I was going to use it as a rental thing because every now and then I rent out costumes and formals for my collection. But I decided that because this is such a gorgeous shade of yellow and it has all these embellishments, I would kind of chop this up and upcycle it to add to the skirt. So it's this yellow prom dress that I salvaged from a Goodwill, I believe, years ago. And I actually wore this as a mock, like, last minute costume for Belle, but it's not really like her style, is just like that early 2000s tube top style. But look at these gorgeous details and this bright yellow, and it has a corset back, so if this still fit me, I would totally have incorporated this into the Belle costume itself, but I feel like the yellow is a little bit off. But it just has this enormous amount of the same details and this sheer overlay. And it is boned, so I might try to salvage the top part and make it into like a little crop top for me. And because it's kind of sectioned off where like the lace up is, so I might make this a two-part like salvage project. But it has the sheer yellow, and then it has the more yellow satin, which isn't quite the color of the fabric I purchased to do the sleeves, but then it has all this tulle and another layer. So I might kind of chop this up, and if you can like kind of see it, where the tulle starts, add this to the skirt itself as another underskirt instead of trying to wear a longer petticoat, because it's poofy and already yellow. So I feel like adding this and upcycling it to give it new life would just like add to the costume. And I feel like I'm really washed out, but I'm never washed out when I go check. But I don't know, like this yellow sheer overlay on top of that skirt would just be like freaking gorgeous and just give it more and more volume to be like that ball gown effect, since that skirt is mostly like meant for belly dancing and performance. I want this to be more magical, and with these freaking beads and sequins throughout, I feel like, yeah, I don't really like these project, like you have the vision versus execution. Like sometimes it gets really difficult to like get the vision that you have in your head and put it like on, most people would say paper, but for me it's on fabric. So we're gonna work together. This video might be longer than I anticipated, but yeah, the brand, if you're curious, is Morgan and Company. And I will insert a picture somewhere of where I wore this to Halloween at the tiki bar that's local to us, just to be like fun because I had no Halloween plans. I used like a matching fan or something and like wore a tiara. It was just, like I said, like a last minute thing. But with that lace up back, I could salvage that as a top for my wardrobe and then use the rest of this beautiful fucking fabric to just, yes, let's do this. So I'll show you like over my face the dress itself, because I'm just kind of moving it around so you can barely see like what the construction of this dress is. But I feel like upcycling this into this cosplay would just add more oomph and like more power to it and get the message across that I am Belle, or Belle Inspired I should say, because it's definitely not going to look just like the animated version. It is definitely not going to look just like the live action. This is something I imagine that she would keep her traditional yellows after they were married and maybe wear this into like, you know, like another like fabulous ball or reading in the library or something, because I have something else to show you too that my lovely friend Lou sent me in my Daisy box, and that is what like stirred this whole idea, this whole concept up. He bought me sent me a yellow velvet cape, like a costume cape with a hood with fur line on it, and it's just beautiful. And that's what actually struck the inspiration to make my own version of a Belle cosplay / costume, whatever we're calling it at this point. We'll just call it a cosplay from here on out, because it's almost like an original character, but it's Belle. But it's not going to look like either version of the movies. But bear with me. We're kind of like, now we're getting the wheels turning after I abandoned this project 3 months ago. Now I'm getting fresher ideas and things I want to do with it, and to actually see it complete, I can't wait. So, yay, let's do this. Still not feeling like 1000% right now, so my voice is going to go in and out. But we have the dress we're going to deconstruct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the underlayer, I believe, and start just seam ripping it into pieces. And then after that is done, I'll lay out the overlay to do pieces for the overskirt, if that makes sense. I think I know what I'm doing. Let's just pretend I know what I'm doing for this project. But I can pretty much see the lines of like say the back zipper and where the pieces separate. So I'm just going to start from there and see where that leaves us to work on the skirt. Yeah, let's in which I don't know what I'm doing, but we're going to figure it out. Like I said, this is going to be a journey. So let's get started. We're going to lay this out on the floor so I can actually see the structure and the shape of the dress. Like once I remove the zipper, I realized that what I wanted to be the underskirt is actually like, it was part of the way the zipper was installed. So I still need to work around that, maybe stitch this up where the zipper was. So we'll see. You'll be able to see it better when I lay it on the floor. Right now it's just draped on the chair. So yeah, it's just a weird angle right now, but I got the zipper out and the lace up back, so we're just going to cut it into pieces that I would see fit to fit under that skirt to make it a little bit more poofy and not so sheer, because like I said before, it is a belly dancing skirt, but we're just going to work with what we have and then take this as the built-in petticoat. So hopefully I won't have to wear another petticoat underneath it. Hopefully this will just be enough. But anyways, let me move you to a better angle where I'm going to cut the dress on the floor into pieces to shape it to work with what we have going on here. We have 3 pieces of a skirt now. I set the top part aside. Like I said, I was probably going to make this like into a cute crop top, but for now, we're going to toss that in the sewing pile. The first skirt we have, like I showed you before, is this new tulle underskirt with the white satin or yellow satin. So it's going to look like this and give it more poof. But of course, for all 3 pieces, I do have to stitch up these sides because that's where the zipper ended, which is fine. It's just a couple stitches, and I'll probably hand sew the rest of it anyway to the skirt that's on the dress form. And then we have this beautiful piece that I'm going to cut into panels. Like, it's not even at all. This dress was structured so weirdly. It was basically asymmetrical. I don't know if you could tell that when I tried it on for the last time. Again, all 3 pieces are going to have this slit in the back where the zipper was installed, but this one doesn't really matter because it's going to be cut into panels and it's going to be on the outside of the skirt. But you can see that beautiful beading and sequin work again. Also bear with me, I'm still sick, so. And then the last piece, I think this might be another underlayer just to make this main skirt I'm working with less sheer. So it's just like the basic yellow satin. I may have to steam this. I don't know how it's going to work underneath the skirt. So the next step is I'm going to take the corset off the dress form and turn the yellow skirt that I purchased inside out and just kind of like tack the layers in and see if it works for me the way I want it to before I start doing the sheer overlay of the top of the skirt. I hope that makes sense, but you're about to see it anyway. So fingers crossed that my vision comes to life because I feel like I'm getting so close, and yeah, even despite being sick, like I'm pushing through because I wanted to, like, I just set a goal for myself. Like, this is just for a photo shoot later and like having fun with the dress and to see if I could upcycle that prom dress or homecoming dress, whatever you want to call it. But that's the 2-week goal is just the one I set for myself. If I didn't already say that, I'm so tired. Let's do this. Okay. So, as you saw, I just kind of tacked the underskirt into place, and I did cheat by tying knots and just doing it every so often around the skirt. And now we're going to try it on to see if I like the way it falls before I sew it into place. So, yay. It has a nice drape, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go try it on. I had the skirt on the dress form. It turns out that somebody's been a very bad kitty and they have been playing with the skirt while it's on the dress form. These little cute, adorable claw marks, can you see that? Are throughout the layers of the skirt, and you just heard her. This one. Apparently she gets the zoomies at night and she's been attacking the skirt while we sleep. So, because the skirt has so many layers, as you've seen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate the satin fabric and like the layers of the dress that we broke apart or broke down, and I'm going to incorporate pickups now with the sheer pieces, so it'll be very interesting. And then while the skirt was still in the dress form, I went to lift it up off the dress form while this was tacked in place, and then my dress form broke. So this whole project is, yeah. So the first thing we're going to tackle, like you can even see, it's punctured and snagged. There you go, you can see it like right here. where she snagged the fibers, so it looks like it's ruched. Sabine, bean. And like I said, it's on like every layer. Like she tried to destroy the skirt. I don't know how well you can tell, but like I can see it. There are these little puncture wounds, excuse me. There's a lot of layers to work with though, so I don't think it's completely like a lost cause. We're just gonna have to go back to the little design book in our head, my head, and just figure out some kind of way to hide the snags. And then from here on out, I'm going to have to keep my projects behind closed doors instead of going to bed and leaving them out like in the kitchen, or not the kitchen, but like this room or the living room where there are no doors. Because yeah, little Sabine gets the zoomies and apparently attacks any fabric in sight, and she's also been nesting in my fabric pile over here to the right of me. So anyways, yeah, on to a new attempt, I guess. I'm so tired. I don't know how to go about this. But lesson learned, let this be a lesson to anybody who is a sewer or crafter. Do not leave your projects out when you go to bed. I thought that it would be safe, but apparently I am wrong because I have very naughty kitties, especially Sabine. She's in trouble. She's grounded. Yeah, I'm a little frustrated right now, so I think I'm going to take a break and walk away and maybe sketch something out. I don't know. Because this was going to be the base skirt anyway, but the way it flows was going to be like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's very frustrating to realize that the fabric has been snagged and compromised. So, I mean, I'm still like rambling, I'm sorry, but with the sheer pieces, I'm sure I can disguise enough of the snags, and where is it? I have like these gold sequins, like sequin ribbon, that I could also disguise it with by doing like draping method and just, I don't know. We have options. Or I could make some rosettes out of ribbon and strategically place it on the skirt. So the biggest problem right now is not having a dress form. I'm sure I'm not the only one to run into a speed bump for projects like this, upcycling / cosplays. Just didn't expect this to happen. Yeah, we'll figure something out. So maybe I'll try on the skirt. I don't know. Maybe try on the skirt and see if I can make any pickups, like pin them in place and then sew them to hide the snags. And then figure out how to do the layers with this satin, like this underskirt, and then this sheer overlay, and like the sequins and such. But it also kind of sucks not having a dress form to do like a draping method. But like I said before, I also have this cord, so I could do some accents and this gold ribbon. So not all is lost. I have a ton of inspiration pictures, so I could just go a different route. Let this be a lesson to any seamstress or crafty person. Don't leave your stuff out when your cats have access to it. It's not good, but I should also add, I'm not mad, I'm upset, because she's just a kitty. It's not her fault. She just gets the zoomies. I still love her. I'm not going to kick her outside or anything, so let's not be mad at Sabine. She's just a baby. Even though she's 5, she still acts like a kitten, so it's pretty cute. But now, lesson learned, again, don't leave your projects out when you go to bed. Especially, like, fabric. Oh, my goodness. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.